Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. I'm going to really move quickly. I've got 8 stories to share with you, and let's get right to it. Okay, this first story is hang in there for me just a little bit and just listen. This is something that was written a little while ago, and it's talking about the internet. So the author of this article goes on to say, visionaries see the future of telecommuting workers, interactive libraries, and multimedia classrooms. They speak of electronic town meetings and virtual communities. Commerce and business will shift from offices and malls to networks and modems. And the freedom of digital networks will make government more democratic. Baloney, he says. Do our computer pundits lack all common sense? The truth in no line online database will replace your daily newspaper. No CD-ROM can take the place of a competent teacher, and no computer network will change the way government works. Yeah, it's just kind of amazing, isn't it? I'm not going to read the whole thing. We're just going to gloss over. I want to take you to one more part. Let's just come down here a little bit. And then there's those pushing computers into schools. We're told that multimedia will make schoolwork easy and fun. Students will happily learn from animated characters while taught by expertly tailored software. And then it goes on. Then there's cyber business. We're promised instant catalog shopping, just point and click for great deals. We'll order airline tickets over the network, make restaurant reservations, and negotiate sales contracts. Stores will become obsolete. So how come my local mall does more business in an afternoon than the entire internet handles in 1 month? Even if there were a trustworthy way to send money over the internet, which there isn't, the network is missing a most essential ingredient of capitalism: salespeople. All right, let me share with you when this was written. It appeared in a Newsweek article, 1995, and it was by the absolute genius mathematician and astronomer Clifford Stoll. He is a genius. He has since gone on to be an internet guru. Yeah, believe it or not, he is now considered one of the cyber pioneers. So even a guy that is so incredibly intelligent just didn't get it in the beginning, and he was so wrong. So these experts, so-called, that come out and tell us that this space is not going to make it, we have to remind ourselves of that 1995 Newsweek article. I'm going to put this link to Clifford in the comment section. It's one of the most current ones I could find, where he gave a great presentation regarding cybersecurity, and it's from November 2017. But if you do search, you can find a lot of TED Talks, and he's very animated. He's very fun to listen to. And if you've not ever watched him before, please do. Okay, now, the reason why I thought that story was important is because of this. There is a story that came out today, and it is titled XRP, The Big Bull is Coming. And it's a good article, and I will put it in the comment section as well. And it talks about how things are looking up and the bull is around the corner. And it cites 3 reasons why. The first one is the rebranding that Ripple has just recently done. And the second one is, it talks about there's a lot of people on the sidelines waiting. And they're waiting for 2 things, basically. They're waiting for the lawsuits to be settled in whichever way they are resolved. And they're also waiting for the SEC to make their decision. So it says here that more people are watching from the sidelines to see how the lawsuits go. And if they have a positive outcome, also not a security, they will snatch up some XRP faster than greased lightning. If it is declared a security, they will still grab some XRP because it can now be traded in a traditional stock market, where it will have access to the trillions of dollars we all are waiting for in the crypto markets in the form of institutional investors. So this article really takes a positive side on no matter which way it goes. And then thirdly, this is the reason why I brought the 1995 article to light. Thirdly, the crypto markets have been described numerous times as being in their infancy. Some experts believe it will peak in 2022. Therefore, the game is just getting started and only the early birds will be buying that Lambo in a few months or years. The early believers of new technology are first viewed as insane and later branded as prophets when things turn out being profitable in the later future. So I just couldn't help but remind all of us that even the brightest people had it totally wrong about the internet in 1995. And I usually don't talk price, but this article has something I want to point out. So it's titled XRP may hit $5 value in the short term if Ripple conquers the remittance field. So it's a good article. It just came out also today, but this is the part I want to focus on right here. So as we know, we are totally in the know that Ripple removes those that friction of transacting from one country to another, and Ripple is willing to remove the slowness while sending remittances abroad with the deployment of its solution XRapid, a product created to source liquidity and provide a platform to transact easier, cheaper, and simply better. But to make this happen, the company needs to define a starting point. And for this, Ripple has chosen nothing less than the Asian marketplace. And that is absolutely been done with the SBI Ripple Asia partnership. The Asian marketplace is one of the biggest in the world. In fact, Asia is considered the world center for remittances, being a continent where the remittance market produced an amount of 465 billion US dollars in 2016 and is forecasted to hit the value of 500 billion US dollars by the end of the year. So this way, if Ripple manages to achieve its mission, it would be targeting both low and high volume remittance transactions in Asia, a milestone that could skyrocket the price of the coin to $5 in the short term and even more in the long run. So, of course, Ripplers, this is a great story. I'll put this down in the comment section. Okay, this actually has been out. It was actually it's dated right here on the slide. Scaling and Digital Disruption in Fintech, Wharton Scale School, San Francisco, June 6th. And if we go to, I've written down exactly where to go from here. If we go to, where are you, Aseesh? Aseesh is in 4438. So he comes on stage. He's a senior VP of product at Ripple. He's been with Ripple for 5 years. And in this section here, Yeah, it's quite interesting. I wrote down exactly what he said, and this is the part where he makes the statement. Okay. For the next 1,000 customers, we want to bring on which we think we can do in the next 2 years. So this is a credible source, and he is saying publicly that uh, he believes that within the next 2 years, they are planning on bringing 1,000 customers on board. So I think this is, a very good statement. Yeah, I can't believe it. Also, too, in this one, in 4402, which I won't play, but I don't know if he knew he was being taped. He must have known this was going to be taped, but he uses the F word in his his presentation, or not presentation, but in his fireside chat. I was quite shocked. And sitting next to him is Cecil Watson. She's an EVP of Digital Solutions with Wells Fargo. So it was just kind of funny to hear him say that. All right, next, moving on. Well, I guess we're not surprised, right? The changing philosophy of women in cryptocurrency. This article is okay. It says that for right now, 91% of all crypto users in the world are apparently men. But it's changing. Yeah, it's changing. I actually know a lot of people who are women in crypto. So maybe it's just they're not as mm, maybe they're just not as much in the limelight, possibly. I don't know. Um, I'm just wondering why they put her in a miner's helmet. I don't know about that. But it did have someone of interest. This was actually an article from an interview on the American news outlet CNBC, and it's very much quoting a woman who calls herself the Bitcoin Bombshell. So she's an avid crypto investor. Her name is Shanna Walton, and she lives in New York. And I just had to see, well, okay, uh, Shanna, I just needed to see what do you look like? There she is. Her goal is to provide information to underrepresented demographics to help them understand and ultimately get involved in the cryptocurrency world. So good for her, and I wish her lots of luck. She is definitely a bombshell. You're just beautiful. Yeah, that was fun. She has her own website, bitcoinbombshell.com. So she's active in the New York City area. You go get 'em, girl. Oh, this was a nice story. So Kumamoto, which is a little bit south of Tokyo in Japan, they started doing mining in a big way, like 14,000 rigs last November, but they're going to start using the excess solar energy, which is just fantastic. So I would like to see more and more miners use alternative forms of energy like hydro or solar, or if you can capture the wind power somehow. I know Denmark is really good at capturing both wind and wave. So I don't know. I'm just hoping that we see this trend moving towards using those excess alternative energies. Yeah, and look at this. This is the electricity cost to mine one Bitcoin worldwide, and it's shown in US dollars. Of course, I love these stats that usually you can't do anything with, but it's always fun to look at. So the most expensive place, where do you think? It happens to be South Korea. So to mine a Bitcoin in South Korea is $26,170. A lot of money to mine there. I guess it's totally, a result of their very high energy costs. And then Germany, you're up there too, 14,000. And the cheapest place is Venezuela at 531. So I'm going to put this in the comment section. I don't know if you want to reference it. It might be interesting if you can memorize some of these numbers. It might help you in the future. You can understand why people are going to Canada and Ukraine. Iceland is off the map. Iceland has a lot of mining locations because, of course, it's the weather. Even if you go to India, it's 3,274. It seems cheap, but India is hot. So the energy you would need to spend to keep the air conditioning to a point where the machines could operate properly would probably offset that cheap price, I think. Because I think this is just, the cost of electricity to mine. I don't think they're taking into account the cost of climate control. I don't know. It didn't say that in this graph. Maybe it should have clarified that. But if you go up to Ukraine or northern Canada, you probably don't need any air conditioning maybe 9 months out of the year. So there you have it, the cost to mine 1 Bitcoin. Okay, so this is interesting. This article also came out today, and it is just talking about XRP is not Ripple, and that it is focusing on the new rebranding of the company, which I think is working successfully. Yeah, I think so, because I even see that there's a lot of talk about it in the Japanese media as well. So I think everybody's going to get this figured out soon. And I don't think people will be mixing it up. So we're just in that beginning stage of redefining the brands, Ripple and XRP. This is interesting. So XRP is not Ripple. Ripple is not XRP. That's the message from the Hatch agency. So, of course, I had to see who is behind the Hatch agency. Voila! The Hatch agency, they're on Kearny in San Francisco, right in the heart of the city. And if we come down and take a look, does something look interesting to you here? Do you see all women? Yeah, they are relentless, they say. So let's just have a look at the team. We're Hatch. We work with people we believe in, who we can learn and grow from. That's true of our clients, but it starts with our team. Check it out. Rima, Amy, Judy, Nadine, Kirsten, Ami, Emily, Claire, Jamie, Melissa. Wow, powerhouse of women. Yeah, pretty amazing. I want to work there. Let's see. I want to take a look at their portfolio with you. Here they have some big clients. There you see Ripple, Dropbox, Pindrop, Robinhood, Thumbstack. These girls are really, look at that, ESPN. Yeah, wow. Benchmark Capital, wow. These gals have got it going. Okay, so in Japan, yes, everybody is talking about the branding. And this is Funabashi, Nanafushi. Why I say Funabashi? Funabashi is Funabashi is a small town in Chiba. This is Nanafushi. Nanafushi is a Rippler, and he has a very big community. This is a video he uploaded today, and he is explaining and talking about the rebranding of XRP and Ripple. So I think everybody's going to get it straight really soon. And the agency at Hatch, I think, did a great job in making those suggestions. Okay, all right. So this is Nanafushi. He has a sheep head's hat on. And now I'm going to get into the fluff, because it is in regards to why does he have this sheep's head hat? I'll explain to you. So here comes your fluff. In Japan, manga and anime are huge business. So this is an information media trends report from 2016 that was made up by Dentsu. Dentsu is a company like Hatch, actually, but they are just a mega Hatch. They actually control about 60% of all advertising campaigns in Japan. Yeah, they are just a behemoth of an agency. And this is one of their reports. You can see here that manga, which here is one of my mangas. This is Chibi Marco-san. She is one of the oldest manga and anime stories in Japan. And manga is usually in the form of what they call in the West like a comic book. It's typically hand-drawn and in black and white. So it says here that the number of mangas periodically distributed online through apps is increasing. Yeah, more and more people are reading their manga on their phones instead of through books or magazines. And they are mostly free to read and supported by advertising. So that is kind of the business model. And you can see here sales volume of manga by type. So there are 256 different weekly magazines. There are 440 different types of comic books, 141 monthly magazines. So it's total of copies per year, 838 million copies of manga. So it's just huge. And if we come down here, it talks about different genres. So, there's for children, boys, for children, girls, and then same with the adults, men and women. And there's also, too, kind of a youth section. The biggest one is Weekly Shonen Jump. And so every week, 2,701,000 copies are printed. It's the number one manga in Japan. And it says its genre is for boys, in terms of younger age. But I see older people reading Shonen Jump. I mean, people in their 30s and 40s. So I think that it does reach different age groups. And then you have animation. So very often the stories that are made in series of manga turn out to be produced in animation, and sometimes in full feature films, or sometimes just in TV shows. So here it is, talks about that in 2014, consumer spending on animation in Japan exceeded 250 billion yen for the first time. So this is a consumer spending keeps going up. And animated programs are frequently shown on late night terrestrial TV. Animated films are produced by a couple of big studio houses like Studio Ghibli, which did The Spirited Away. It was one of the animations that won an Oscar. And South Korea, United States, and Taiwan are the three top overseas markets for animation. And yeah, if we come down and look here by revenue, you can see that television and broadcasting is 33%. In the theater is 12%. And then you have videograms, online distribution, merchandising, music. Actually, I'm so surprised this is that small because animation music is so big. When you go to karaoke in Japan, very often people love to sing their favorite animation song. And then there is amusement. Like recently, there is the Yokai Watch, and they just opened up down in Osaka with the big amusement park with in combination with Harry Potter. Yeah, it's big stuff. So consumer spending, yeah, box office, films. Yeah, okay, so I think you get it. It's big, it's a big deal. Well, when there is a hit story, people in Japan love to dress as their favorite character. So that's where you see cosplay. And the cosplay is all about wearing some sort of character, which is the reason why Nanafushi is wearing that sheep's head. It's related to the cosplay, which stands for costume, shortened English Japanese, or Japanese English, and it is shortened out. This is interesting. Here we have some of the best cosplay winners of the animation event that takes place every year in March in Tokyo. And if you come down, these are all young cosplay participants that are dressing like their favorite character. So yeah, it's actually very, very fun. Attack of the Titan. This Attack of the Titan was one of the biggest hits in 2014, and it's still as popular. So here, these two gals are dressed up as Mikasa and Armin. And then look at this, Evangelion. Yeah, so surreal, right? Very, very good. Very, very, very creative. Look at her eyes. Can you see? She's even got the blue contacts. And she is Pretty Guardian from Sailor Moon. I think the animation fans will all go, oh, I love Sailor Moon. Because Sailor Moon was a big hit in the United States. Here's another one, character from Sailor Moon. Just great, isn't it? So maybe I'm starting to lose some of you. But if you want to look at all of them, I'll put the link down in the comment section. This one, who is this? This is Fate from Ground Order. Yeah, it's just fun. It's really fun. So this is Japanese culture at its best. And if you want to come to the big animation event, it takes place in March every year. Okay, everybody, I will leave you with Grand Blue Fantasy. Yeah, she's really looks great. And I thank you very much for watching, and please take care. Sayonara for now. Alrighty. Bye bye.